why your UGC isn't working and what $1 million a month apps do differently. We've worked with apps doing 1 million a month, 2, 3, even 200 million a year. And none of them treat UGC like a volume game, which is exactly what most earlier stage founders get wrong. If you're trying to get your app to 100K, 500K a month, you need to understand this. If you're spending on ads, if you're spending 10K a month and your CPIs are not what you want it to be, so you're paying more than what you'd like per install, then UGC is probably the next thing you're testing. And if you don't make the right calls, you'll probably test it the same way everyone else does and end up failing. So what everyone kind of does is just hire a bunch of creators, try to post more videos, hope something goes viral, and then a few weeks later, when nothing happens, you just assume UGC doesn't work. And that's not the problem. The problem is how you're testing it, not the channel itself. So you want to be looking at 5 to 10 creators, about 200 to 600 videos a month. You want to focus on TikTok first, and you want to budget around $5,000 to $10,000 a month. The timeline to your first breakdown should be about 30 to 45 days of posting, and you want to make sure that your attribution is the best it can be. So here's what it actually looks like. And my promise to you is that by the end of this video, if anything, you'll just have more clarity on how to do UGC properly. Number one is that UGC is not a volume problem. The biggest lie when people are doing organic marketing with content creators is that you just need more videos, just need more creators. And I get why founders default to this, because there's a lot of advice out there and they think, you need to go and hire 50 creators and it feels productive. And it's almost like it's the only lever you can pull without thinking a bit harder, a bit past the short-term stuff. So more content does not fix bad content. It is for sure one of the levers, but it just gives you more bad content if you don't have the system in place. So if 50 average creators don't understand your product and you don't have a feedback loop, you don't get, 600 shots on goal. You just get a bunch of different ways to miss. And if you try to win with only volume before having a winning format, for example, it's just like you're buying like 100 lottery tickets instead of learning how to count cards, right? You're just scaling your losses. The main thing I want you to understand is that volume is for sure needed, but it only works if you have a good feedback loop, if you have a good system. Now flip it. Let's say you have 5 strong creators, you give them feedback every day, you're very close with them, and their incentives are aligned with what you want them to produce, which is essentially views, and views that translate into quality downloads. You'll have very strong angles to double down on by, say, week 3 of your program even being live. And to be clear, I'm saying hiring organic creators, getting them to post every day, and essentially making more and more ads about your product that look like or are native to content that you usually see in your For You page. So the volume only works if you have this feedback loop, and it works better, honestly, if you use it to double down after something works as like the main lever, because before that, most of it is feedback, most of it is data. So what does it actually cost? This is point 2. This is the most important number you might ignore, but I really need you to pay attention. So if you're building this properly, you need to budget for around $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Anything below that is really not a test. And a lot of what happens in UGC is you need to front load your effort. So in paid ads, you can start small and then scale when something works. With this type of strategy, you really need to front load your effort, whether that's time, money. You need to make sure that early on, you are very close to the program. You're understanding why things are working, why things are not, and you're close to the creators so that when something works, you can then scale. And this doesn't necessarily mean scale budget. This means when you have a winning angle, you'll get all the creators that are already there to pivot into doing only that angle, and that will give you the scale that you need. You don't save money, by the way, by hiring cheaper creators. A strong creator is typically 1,000 to 1.5K a month to be posting daily. So around 5 creators eat your entire budget already if you don't budget correctly, or you'll just go and get cheaper creators who are not going to produce the results you want. So again, either you pay a good creator to think and to actually know what they're doing, or you'll end up thinking and strategizing for 10 different bad creators and giving them feedback every day, so it becomes your full-time job. Don't try to save money here. Number 3, what the results look like. So let's make this real. For a healthy campaign, around 0.2 to 0.8% view to install ratio. This means you get about 2,000 to 8,000 installs per million views. The main thing you need to understand is that the future of media is here. I've heard Gary Vee talk about this. I've heard Alex Hormozi talk about this. Paid and organic are no longer separate. You need to use the feedback you get from the algorithm on your organic content to then scale it and port it and scale it to paid. If you do that, you will get a lot better results, not only in your cost per install and your cost of acquisition, but also just CPMs overall. The algorithms are much better than you in defining what works, what doesn't work, etc. You really need to use that to your advantage. So you post organically with volume, with a good feedback loop first, and then what works, you take those and you port it and scale it with paid ads. You want to be getting comments in your videos asking, what app is this? Where do I get this? Is this app free? That's when you know it's really working. And I've seen, honestly, like a million view videos drive 0 installs. And then this is a quick story. We've done a homeowners app a few weeks back. No kidding. The video that impacted the most on their installs was a 40,000 view video with like 4,000 likes. Insane engagement rate. And there were a lot of comments asking about the app. They 5x their daily trials with this. So this is it. You need to focus on the high quality views. Now, number 4, how long does it take? With these types of campaigns, it's going to take a while till something happens, but when it does, it should blow up all at once. Because think about it. You're 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, testing different angles, iterating on the data you're seeing so that you're closer to things start working. So once you get a few breakouts, then all the creators every day pivot into that angle and the campaign usually blows up. Just so you understand, our average time to the first million views is about 30 something days of posting, and our average time to the first 10 million views is like 40 something days of posting. So it's like for 30 something days, nothing's really happening, and then all of a sudden blows up. Keep this in mind, and then it's the same cycle all over again. Then you'll hopefully have a winning angle. You're basically milking for all it's worth, and then you scale it with paid, and then you have to have the same cycle again. So you need to go find new formats, find new angles, try new things, and it's the same thing over and over. Ideally, you just let your best creators keep posting on the thing that's working, and then you have other people in your team that are already testing new format. You need a good setup. I'm gonna give you straight up what the setup is that I would use. 5 to 10 creators posting once to twice per day per page, and that's about 600 videos a month, 300 to 600 videos a month total. That's more than enough. So you win with your feedback loop. You need something to basically have all of your data in where you can see, yo, what's working, what's not, what angles passed 5,000 views this week with good engagement rates, what angles had comments about the app or asking about the app, and you basically keep making more of those until something pops. Do not save money on the creator team. Please try and find the best creators you can, people with experience in organic marketing, good TikTok shop affiliates, start looking for retainer gigs. Look for talented, proven creators, and that'll solve 90% of your issues. What's a good creator? Most people get swept by how many followers they have, which is definitely a good metric, but the thing you need to understand is that you're looking for people with essentially camera charisma, so they don't sound like they're reading a script, they're good at telling a story, they have a viral sense, so they're usually Gen Z because they spend a lot of time on socials, they understand like internet culture and the inside jokes of what TikTok feeds and Instagram feeds feed them, so they're platform native, they understand it like a language, right? They don't need to explain it, they just get it. You want to look for those. That's why it's so common to have like the intern be the best person in the company at social media in terms of just like understanding what's going to go viral, what's not. It's because they were born in the generation that it's just in the internet culture. You don't need to explain it to them. With tracking, a lot of people ask me about organic tracking. How do you track what's working with UGC? Most people get this wrong. So what actually happens, the pattern you see for conversion is people watch a video. So they watch the video on their TikTok feed. It shows a cool app. They try to see what the name of the app is. They look in the comment section. Once they see it, they close TikTok, they open the app store, they search for the name of the app. You cannot directly track this, but what will happen is you can track the delta. So for the daily organic installs, do they spike when you have a spike in your views? You should be able to correlate this. If you have an MMP like Apps Flyer, try to connect this to a dashboard with your views so you can correlate views to installs. You also have branded search, so stuff like how many people are searching for keywords that you're pushing them to in your TikTok videos. This is also, you know, kind of, or for your app name, which is great. And then comments. Comments are amazing. What app is this? You know, is this free? That's the signal that matters most. That's the best attribution you'll get for this organic style campaigns. When you port the winners to paid, you'll for sure get very clear attribution on which videos are performing, which are not, and that'll give you further signal on where to double down. And I would start on TikTok. Just pick TikTok. It's the fastest testing ground because it doesn't care who you are, how many followers you have, it just tests your content, and once something works there, just scale it. Reels and YouTube Shorts are great for longer term compounding. Once something works on a specific page there, it raises your overall threshold of views going forward. So meaning when you post a new video, instead of getting on average 200 views, after getting a viral video, that threshold will probably be at 1,000, 5,000 views per short. So yeah, again, just briefing you on this. The main thing is use this organic. Don't fully depend on that. Use that to have a content infrastructure to test at scale what works, what angles are good. And then once you have that, port that to pay. That's what $1 million plus a month apps do. None of them are just organic. You have tons and tons of paid behind behind it, which is great. I mean, it's great. But right now, with the current state of media, you need to have a content infrastructure so that you're able to scale with paid and, beat these giants in the market. Because if you're an earlier stage founder, if you're under, 3 million a year, you really need to use these as levers so that you can get ahead. Also, if you're looking for help doing all this, that's exactly what we do at Bluetooth. So you can go ahead and book a call with us in the link in the description, or just grab our free ebook that outlines everything I just talked about today. Cheers.